What foods seem completely fine until you realize how it's actually made. When I was growing up, my grandma used to make this amazing apple salad dessert thing. I loved it growing up. One year I wanted to make it for myself as an adult and I asked her the recipe. Turns out it was just apples, mayo and sugar. Imitation crab. It's fish paste with eggs, a bunch of additives and colorings. Which makes sense. The weird part is watching the two colors of extruded paste get stretched out and wrapped around each other, like fish taffy. Squid in terms of how they're caught. The squirrel bits and iguana on a stick. Man oh man, my hands were shaken asterisk. Veal is pretty fucked up. I live in Korea and they eat live octopus here. Foie gras. My culinary school took me to a foie gras farm. Even though it's tasty, I don't eat it anymore. Not that I would eat it anyways, but that goose duck egg that is cooked with a live chick inside. Obviously the chick dies. I love Worcestershire sauce, but seeing it made is kinda gross. Edit. Didn't expect this to blow up, but since it did, I strongly recommend putting Worcestershire sauce on scrambled eggs. Changed my life. While off-putting, I see no problems with some of the scraps we eat. It's perfectly fine to me that I'm eating the scraps of chicken in chicken nuggets. Gelatin from Bones and Ligaments. The reject pieces of animal being used to make so many great foods or items. People want to say the natives had the right idea, using every part of the animal. But suddenly turning around to say eating black pudding is disgusting? I feel better knowing that we used every ounce of that cow. The cow didn't die in vain. The cow was used for milk. Once done with that stage, sold for meat. The meat market sells the bones for dog bones, gelatin, beef stock, literally anything else. Nothing goes to waste. Don't get me wrong, the treatment from cow to meat and then the food waste alone is problematic, but that's not what the thread is about. We use every part of every item. Excuse me, I have nuggets in the oven that are ready. Kopi Luwak or weasel coffee. It is pretty much coffee. However, instead of using coffee beans that were harvested in more common ways, like handpicking, Kopi Luwak uses coffee beans that were defecated by palm civets. Located in Indonesia, these weasel-like mammals consume coffee cherries as part of their diets and, through some very complex processes during digestion, they ferment the coffee cherries and thus defecate a coffee bean of peculiar flavors. Not only is this utterly terrifying, but unfortunately due to the demand and craze around it, producers are caging civets and force-feeding them countless amounts of cherries, basically ruining their diets and lives. I had it once, and after knowing how it was made I had to rush to the nearest restroom. It ruined coffee for me for a few years. Edit. Holy cow. Thank you all for the comments. I'm learning so much from you. My wife's aunt made a mushroom soup that she had me try, supposed to be super healthy and tasty. I tried it, it was okay, and then she showed me the mushrooms. F-seeking caterpillars that had cordyceps. I'll see y'all later as patient zero. I was surprised to learn from people who've worked on farms just how bloody harvesting crops is. There's not really a good way to clear out wild animals, so all of them get ripped to shreds by the heavy machinery moving through the fields. I miss being able to assume no animals died making my produce. I discovered a video of poverty-stricken Filipino people making pagpag. It's so fucking sad and they eat it regularly. Orange juice. The kind in the refrigerator aisle. Not because it is disgusting or anything, but because it is basically old Frankenjuice. All the labels such as fresh squeezed, not from concentrate, and pure, are only true in the most obtuse ways. I honestly don't care how something is made as long as it's safe to eat and tastes good. For instance, I don't care that chicken nuggets are made from scraps because they are safe and taste good. In fact, I think it's great that they have found ways to use the parts people normally don't like and have turned them into something many people enjoy. It would be a huge waste to throw it all out and have to make nuggets from all white meat. We'd need way more chicken farms and the prices would be a lot higher. I feel the same when people complain about Wendy's using the patties that were on the heater past the time they allow in the chili. It's still perfectly safe to eat, just dry, which is why putting it in chili makes perfect sense. It still tastes good, is safe, and they found a way to reduce waste, which I'm all for. Foie gras and #X200B. Edit. I did not expect this to blow up as much as it did. Sincerely thank you for the upvotes and the awards. I'm also glad to see this sparked such an elaborate discussion. Black pudding is a common breakfast food, but kinda messed up when you think about how it's made. Any fermented food. My food preservation professor said that the line between fermented and spoiled was a matter of cultural preference before the modern era. It's pretty normal to enjoy the fermented foods of your own culture and be grossed out by the foods of another's. Gummy bears, or just gummies in general. Took me 19 years to find out that the way they're made is with pig carcasses and bones. I can't be the only one who's like 500 posts in and feel between meh and neutral at all these supposedly gross foods. As a baker, puff pastry. Not because it's gross or something, it's just a long, involved process that can break you if you let it. Cheese whiz. It's transparent until they add the orange coloring. I don't know why, but that makes me nope out. Not like Cheese Whiz is a salad or anything, don't get me wrong. But I don't think I fully comprehended just how fake it was until I found that out. There was this guy named Sweeney Todd. He made the most delicious pies. Jello, i.e. gelatin. https://en.wikipedia.org/wiki/gelatin. I love explaining it to people who have no idea what it is. Honey as bee vomit. Gelatin. Comes from processing cattle faces, noses and ears still attached. I worked in a tannery. The face doesn't have any viable use once tanned, so it's cut from the rest of the hide. Fun fact. The truck only came once a week and the pieces were stored outside in a half-walled shed, so during summer the smell could be rather ripe. I worked as a butcher for a year, so not much phases me, but know the off chance you actually like liver. Don't ever take a look at what it looks like before it's chopped up and trade. It basically looks and behaves like blood jello with a brown mold skin around it, and that's not even counting if it's been denuded. Foie gras. It is literally torture. I thought I liked eating figs until I read about fig wasps fuck figs. I've recently been working with a margarine manufacturing company. People who work there don't eat margarine. A lot of people enjoy shark fin soup and maybe some don't realize what the fishermen do to get the fins. Look up video if you want, but they bring the shark on board, cut off all the fins, and chuck it back still alive to writhe and float and suffer. Lobster. I'm not a chef, but does it really have to die like that? How hard can it be to stab it or cut its head off or something so it's not alive when thrown into boiling water? I've got no issues with eating meat, but I don't think it should be barbaric. We're an intelligent species, and a moral one, supposedly. We should give these creatures a good quality of life and a swift, painless death, or at least try to. I've never eaten foie gras, but foie gras reminds me of the time I asked for a soft taco at Taco Bell and they told me, our meat hose is down. Still eat there regularly though. My 5Y0 kid is obsessed with the Discovery Channel, How It's Made show. Pretty much every mass-produced food disgusts me now. Some of the ones that come to mind: frozen fish sticks, bacon, sadly. Any kind of gum or candy. If you really think about, probably any kind of meat product. Veal, foie gras. Worcestershire, or however the F you spell it. It's anchovies, but I still love it. Parmesan cheese. Parmesan, which takes its name from the three places it's made, Parma, Reggio Emilia and Bologna, is not vegetarian because its production involves the killing of animals. The coagulation process, necessary to make milk, usually requires an enzyme called chymosin, which comes from something called rennet. In the case of Parmesan, and most cheeses, that rennet is ritually procured from the one of the four stomachs of a calf. For this, the baby cow is killed merely so its stomach can be taken and split open, dried, cut into cubes and added to the cheese mixture to curdle it. This stomach's enzyme is so intrinsic to the production of Parmesan that it cannot legally be called Parmesan unless it contains cow's milk, salt and calf rennet. And Parmesan is not the only cheese to contain calf rennet. Grana Padano and Gorgonzola are other Italian cheeses with rennet in the recipe. Others include Gruyere, Manchego, Emmenthal, Pecorino Romano, Mimolette, Camembert, Boucheron and Vacheron. What's more, in the Parmesan making process, excess whey is produced, then fed by farmers to pigs that are killed to make Parma ham. In Poland we have a dish that's called flaki, which literally means guts. It's a soup made of cow stomach. Many people don't want to even think about it, but I think it's delicious. Hot dogs. Agave nectar. The way they make it is super similar to dab. You take a bunch of leaves, put them in a glass tube and blow butane through it. It's labeled as healthy, but the process is anything but. Barbacoa tacos. It's basically greasy shredded cow meat, but it's made out of cow tongue and sometimes people add the eyeballs mixed in. Still super delicious, and I eat it whenever I get the chance. Look, I know it's controversial, and I love animal products, they're delicious, but the production of basically any animal product that is mass-produced is fucked. Dairy cows artificially inseminated so they become pregnant. Then when they give birth their calves are taken away and they're given various hormones and antibiotics to produce more milk, which they do for 10 months before being inseminated again. Most of their lives are spent indoors in a milk pumping facility. Milk has an allowed bacteria count, somatic cell count, that is about 7x higher than what is considered to be healthy milk. Veal is made by confining calves to crates to ensure they don't move too much so that the near as tender tuna, stock, weird word to use for a wild animal, is very low and getting increasingly lower. Could well become extinct in our lifetime. Polecat is marginally better than nets, but they still catch all manner of other animals, many of which die and are cast aside. The fishing industry in general is fucked and we're destroying the life in our oceans. Pig farming is absolutely terrible for the environment. Nutrients they're fed for growth leak into the environment. The confined spaces and poor, dirty conditions they live in are breeding grounds for diseases, so they're given antibiotics constantly, which in turn is just training bacteria to become resistant to it. Plus pigs are super smart. And bacon is so goddamn delicious, goddamn it. You get the idea. I try to eat less meat and animal products these days. It just doesn't feel right biting into delicious meat knowing the animal probably suffered greatly for my enjoyment. It feels weird. Soylent Green. Anything made by Nestlé. Stay out of the kitchen if you don't have the stomach to watch the sausage being made. The anti-sausage circle jerk here is strong. Watch them actually get made. https://www.youtube.com/watch?v=9humapish4 If you want to avoid Oscar Mayer wieners or something, go ahead. But most of you are uninformed. Essentially all meat and dairy. I was scared to click this post. Almond milk. Not for how it's made but the destruction to the environment it causes to California. https://bondibeauty.com.au/food/as-almond-milk-killing-the-planet/. I worked in new product development for a bit. It's not good lol. The entire aim of the companies who we were working with was to sell less food for more. So finding any way possible to add water, air, or fiber. Often all three. A whole industry dedicated to destroying food, for money. That's why everyone is getting fat. The food doesn't have the same nutrient content it used to, so you have to consume more. And it's entirely on purpose. Foie Gras 100%. Always wanted to try some before I learned how it's made. It's honestly barbaric. Worm Crusher. Waterlester. Worcestershire Sauce. I still eat it because it's delicious, but sausage, white gravy. I know a lot of people that don't live in the US think it's weird, and they are probably right. The base is literally fat, flour, and milk and/or cream, then depending on the recipe seasoned accordingly. I always remember the rat burger scene from Demolition Man. The man recognized that he thought it tasted great before he learned it was made from rat. Sometimes that's all that matters. https://gfycat.com/entirezealousamigo. My German, Polish grandmother made chernina, duck blood soup. Being a good farm wife, she would go out to the shed where my grandfather kept some of his birds, chicken, ducks, geese, guinea fowl, peahens, peacocks and a few more I don't remember. She usually was able to grab a duck on the first try and slit its throat with the straight-edge razor she used for butchering small animals. She would squeeze the blood into her steel thermos bottle, cap it and butcher the duck, sometimes a chicken. She would roast or fry the bird and make the chernina, which smells exactly like you would think boiled blood smells like, but worse. It would take at least a week for the smell to leave the house. There were times when she would send me to school with her thermos bottle, filled with milk this time, to school a day or two after she washed out the blood. Of course, she also made Jello salad with peas, carrots and corn in it. Also, tuna hot dish. There's no such thing as a casserole in Wisconsin or Minnesota. Its proper name is hot dish. That's a hill I will die on. Ever hear of Kazu Martsu cheese? Eggs, not just the hens but also the chickens that are born the wrong sex. As far as I'm aware, there is no such thing as an ethical commercial egg. I do hope I'm wrong. I remember watching a How It's Made for Hot Dogs. Shivers, Kraft single slices. Stuff is gray before they make it yellow. In the Netherlands we have something called roze koeken, which translates to pink cake. It's very delicious and a delicacy. It's made out of lice. I'm just going to skip over this thread and continue eating hot dogs with squirrel or whatever. I don't have a particular problem with it, but a surprising amount of people don't know that gelatin comes from collagen. Whenever someone's like, ew, there are cockroaches in pre-ground coffee, or, ew, sausages are made out of undesirable meats, I never understand it. I don't care what it's made of, it tastes good. Hot dogs and chicky nugs. Hog head cheese. Spam, aka, spare parts and miscellaneous. Reminds me of that video of Jamie Oliver showing kids how chicken nuggets were made, and after showing them all the kids still wanted to eat them after. His reaction is priceless. Edit better link. https://youtube.be/2nmzlp2zoop. Thanks for watching. See you later.